Tesla had an all-time high in November of 2021 of a stock price of almost $414 per share. Till now, the stock is down about 30%. It still hasn't reached its all-time high. Why? I mean, we see Apple doing it, Nvidia doing it, and a bunch of other companies that not only did they hit their all-time high, but surpassed it. So why isn't Tesla not hitting their all-time high and surpassing it either? Aren't they going to be the world's most valued company? Aren't they solving autonomy? Aren't they selling the best cars in the world? So why isn't Tesla not at their all-time high yet? Better question, why aren't they even going to surpass that? Well, in this video, that's exactly what we're going to find out, why Tesla hasn't reached their all-time high yet. If you guys are following my channel, you guys already know I'm going all in into Tesla stock to the point that I have t-shirts now where it says I bought the dip, which you guys can get over here. But yeah, when you're all in on a specific stock, you better know, especially for me, I'm going to be following the stock, what happens every single quarter and reasons why things are not happening, like not reaching an all-time high yet. And I hope in this video you guys can also have some light on to this reason why Tesla is not reaching their all-time high or going past that. So if you guys are ready, man, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. So first off, how did Tesla zoom all the way up to $414 per share at the end of 2021? We need to understand this to know why we haven't gone there back yet. You see, guys, in 2020 and 2021, what ended up happening in that environment is that we had 0% interest rate because we had a pandemic. Everything was closed. People were forced to stay at home. Going out to places was very limited. And the Fed turned on the printing machine, the money printing machine. So we increased the supply of money in 2020 and 2021. Mix that in with 0% interest rate, you had a booming stock market that went absolutely nuts, and Tesla was part of that. Now here's the thing, Tesla benefited enormously in this environment because people had money, zero interest rates. When you went to get a car, financing was pretty much 0 to 1%. It was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And we all know when an interest rate or rates in general, people tend to purchase high capital stuff. This includes cars. This includes homes. That's why we had a massive explosion in home prices in 2020 and 2021. Now we're seeing the exact opposite because interest rates are higher now. We have Feds tightening the cash. We are trying to reduce the money flow, which we are in this weird economy right now. We're not in a recession, but we feel like we're in a recession, but we're not, but we kind of feel like it. It's a very, very weird situation, but that's what happened in 2021. On top of that, in the middle of all this explosion and FOMO and all that good stuff, the one piece of news that triggered the stock to go as high as $414 per share was the Hertz deal. Hertz ordered about 100,000 Tesla vehicles, and that took the stock to the flippin' moon. It just increased 40-50% literally within a month. It was absolutely nuts. But then here where the stock goes down, not just Tesla, the whole market pretty much, is when we saw inflation go as high as 10% and the Fed coming out and saying that it's time to tighten and to increase interest rates. Although it was late, they should have done it in October, not all in February or March when Putin invaded Ukraine, because that even made inflation even worse. But as soon as they announced that, that's when the whole stock market slowly started to tank. And when they actually increased rates and more tightening, because people were skeptical, when they actually did it, the stock tanked even more, and Tesla tanked the most, because we know that in a high interest environment, cars and obviously homes, but cars, nobody buys cars in high interest time. And this was the fastest interest rate hike ever in history. So the stock went from 400 to 100. And this is despite that Tesla was doing records in production and delivery. But the market didn't care. The market said that the PE for Tesla stock in end of 2021, which was around 200, 300, was not valued as that PE anymore because we have interest rates now. So it got crushed down to 150 to 100, went all the way down to 34 at the end of 2022, in the middle of all this madness of interest rate hikes and tightening and Tesla reducing their prices and reducing their margins. A lot of investors got scared, got spooked, so they started to sell off. And overall, just general, a lot of investors took their money out of the stock market to put it in high interest savings account or high bond yields and treasuries because it's pretty much free money there. You know, when they print a whole bunch of trillions of dollars, it was free money in the stock market. But now we have high interest rates. The bank will give you a 4 or 5% return, which is obviously just, it's nothing but free money. There's no risk to that. While in the stock market, the exact opposite happens. everything crashes in high interest rate times. Although not all the time, but this time was very aggressive. So people just sold off and everything was up to so much. It was to a point that everybody was saying that the stock market only goes up. That's when you know you should not be investing in the stock market when it goes up. Personally, for me, I did not buy Tesla stock anything past 300. That was a big no-no for me. But Pejjy man, hold on one second. If everyone experienced this crash from their all-time highs to down low, why is companies like Nvidia and Apple going to all-time high? Aren't they smashing record? Isn't Tesla smashing record as well? Aren't they selling in records? So what's up with Tesla? Why is everyone doing okay but Tesla isn't? Well, let me explain. Since the beginning of 2023, Tesla has been aggressively cutting their prices, literally by 10, 20, 30, 40. It's to a point now where their margin is almost as similar to Toyota's and automakers. Like when we look at the numbers, it's not that great, especially in Q2, and we're going to get Q3 soon, and I think that's going to be even lower. So that's being priced into the stock that, oh wait, look at this, Tesla is still a car company, even though we know it's not a car company. They seem not to be making as much money as they did before, therefore reducing their earnings per share and overall reducing the stock price and the worth of the stock. Now, don't get me wrong, the stock right now is trading the 70 PEs. In my opinion, I think that slow should be around 150 because Tesla is an AI company, of a tech company more than a car company. But nonetheless, in this environment, a lot of Wall Street analysts think that even this price, this PE of Tesla is too high for it. Now guys, you have to remember that FSD is not priced in, the energy is barely priced in, the robo-taxi, all this, and none of this is priced in Tesla stock. It's purely from the cars. Tesla right now, their entire revenue and profits, 90% of it, 95% of it is cars. But come back in 5 years, that's probably gonna be less than 70%. Mark my words. And that's where the opportunity is going to be. No one's going to see it coming, and it's going to be an awesome time. Now, the question is, when will Tesla reach their all-time highs? We spoke about how they got there and why they're not there. Because again, we have high interest rates and people are not looking to buy cars, and again, price decreases. That's the main thing. That's the main thing from Tesla, price decreases. But again, I think it's a very, very smart idea to get as many Teslas on the road, because as soon as FSD is solved, snap of a finger, you get like software everywhere, and all of a sudden you get cars driving themselves at a $200-300 a month software as a service. That's gonna just print billions. And check out this video if you guys haven't seen it. It's absolutely insane. It's literally a ChatGPT moment for Tesla once that happens. But let's go ahead to the chart and see when exactly and intelligently Tesla will be back at the all-time highs. If you guys are ready, man, smash that like button. Let's go. So here's a stock price prediction chart. We're only gonna take an effect of vehicles and energy. That is it, because these are numbers that we actually have. And as you guys can see, for 2023, I put 1.8 million. Most likely it's going to be 1.85 million vehicle deliveries, and then 35% growth for 2024 and 2025, which will be over 2.4 million and over almost 3.3 million vehicles. 44,000 the average selling price for 2023, 46,000 in 2024, and 47,000 in 2025. You guys can see the credit, service, leasing, all that goodies. Vehicle gross profits here for 2023, I put an average of 18%. Now this may go lower, but I'm gonna round it up to 18%. 2024, 18.5%, 2025 at 22.5%, but I may have to reduce this to show you guys a more realistic scenario for this, because we do have the Cybertruck ramping up, and that will reduce margins even further, at least in the short term. Then it'll roar up massively. Overall, we see revenue in 2023 almost reaching 100 billion. Now I do think it's going to be over 100 billion. Again, if we put 1.85 million vehicle deliveries, that's over 100 billion. But again, keeping things conservative, operating margin of 10.7%. We have a net income non-GAAP of about $11.5 billion. And you guys can see that for 2024 for the revenue and profits, and 2025. Imagine 2025, over $200 billion in revenue, and a net income non-GAAP over 34 billion. That's going to be absolutely insane. Now, the EPS for 2023 was supposed to be in the mid $4 or closer to $5 per share, but we had the price cuts. Obviously, when you have price cuts, vehicle gross profits will go less, and I think deliveries were expecting to have 1.9, but Elon said 1.8 to stay conservative, so I think it's going to be in between that. But nonetheless, the price cuts is what brought it down to $3.28, which literally is less compared to 2022's, and this is why the stock hasn't gone up to where it is now. That's why I say right now, the stock price, if we look at it, these two only, energy and vehicles, it's a fair price. Around 260 is my stock price prediction for this year, 2023, and I'm not changing that. However, though, if you want to add on the FSD and all those AI stuff, double that. At least double that to about like $500 per share. Tesla should be trading around there if you want to consider those things. But That's going to happen maybe in a couple of years or so, or a few years or so, once, Wall Street recognizes that, hold on a minute, we didn't see this coming, and then the stock will soar again, as it always has. That's the nature of Tesla stock. But for 2023, I'm going to give it a PE of 80, around 262, because that's my price target for 2023, 260. Worst comes to worst, if we go back to a bad recession or that panic area, we can probably see PE of 60 going to like below 200 bucks. Best case scenario, 90 PE, maybe even 95 PE, it's around the 300 mark. I can probably see that. There's a lot of good news, good things to look forward to for Tesla in the next few months. But to stay fair, I guess 80 PE, got to stick to my, price target of 260. Y'all know what I'm saying. That's 2023. So obviously this year, we're not going to be seeing all-time high, unfortunately. In 2024, if we reach 2.4 million vehicles, 46,000 average vehicle selling prices, and 18.5% gross profits, we get a net income non-GAAP of almost 18 billion, EPS non-GAAP of $5.13. This would be awesome. Now, my price target for 2024, I've already made a video about that. You can check out over here, but you guys are going to see here anyways, is 350 bucks per share. That will be a PE, ironically, of 69. Now, obviously, it's all a prediction alone, but that's what I think 2024 fair value is if we're only taking energy and vehicles alone. If the market sees more than that, you can see a PE of 80 going to 411. Now, this could be itching, or at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, when Q4 comes in, we could probably see reaching its all-time high in the 410s or 414. That's what it was. I think it's a PE of 81 to go above the all-time high. So 81 PE is what's needed with an EPS of $5.13 to reach the all-time high, basically. But I'm going to stick to my price target of 350. Stay conservative. I don't want to look so far or expect so much. I rather under promise and let the stock soar, and later on I can say, oh my god, I didn't expect that, even though I kind of did. But that's what I'm gonna say, 350 per share in 2024, 81 PE if Wall Street sees it more of an AI and tech company. Sure, we can see that happening. Worst comes to worst, 60 PE of 300, 55 PE of 282. If Tesla's doing all these numbers, that's really hard. Even if the PE goes down, the prices today is fairly cheap compared to 2024. Not financial advice, but that's just my opinion. 2024 is great. If we can see these numbers, especially the operating margin going above 12%, then that is good stuff. Now, 2025. I haven't made a price target for 2025, but looking at all these numbers, if you even give it a 22.5% gross profits, of vehicle deliveries of over 3.2 million, and a average selling price of 47,000, which we will adjust that in a second, we could probably see a PE of 55, which would give it a stock price of 539. Now, here's the thing. Is Tesla average selling price going to be 40,000 in 2025? I don't think so. I think it's going to be more. I'm going to match it with 2024's of 46,000. In the vehicle gross profits, I think it's going to go down to 20%. I think that makes more sense. And that'll give a operating margin of 14.5% and a net income almost just below $30 billion, 55 PE, 468, somewhere around there. Now, here's the thing, 2025, if they're doing these numbers, and look at energy is doubling that year too, then we can potentially see 2025 being the year that breaks Tesla's previous all-time high. Again, not financial advice, but if these numbers come true, that could actually happen. Now, if we go back to 2024 and give it the same average selling price of 44,000, the same as 2023, but keep the vehicle gross profits higher, because Tesla, a good thing about Tesla is that their cost of goods sold for their vehicles continues to go down. So even if you have it at the same price, the gross profits are going to continue increasing because they benefit from economy of scale, which obviously benefits Tesla lowering costs on their vehicles. So that's why I say 18.5%. We can see operating margin 11.8%. 69 PE would be 330. Give it a 65 PE if you want to stay conservative, like low 300s. I think I can see that if that's the case. But looking at these numbers in 2024 and 2025, even though I've lowered them, it seems like somewhere in 2024, mainly in the beginnings of 2025 or mid of 2025, we can probably see Tesla stock going back to its all-time high. Now, again, as we saw in 2024, if they give it an 80 PE at the previous prices, and if they do an average selling price of 46,000, then we can probably see it reaching an all-time high. But I don't think that's realistic at the moment. We still are going to be seeing high interest rates in 2024. It will go lower, but not as much as we will want to. 2025 would still be a better year. I think 2025 would go even more lower, and we can probably see the average selling price going up to 46,000 or 47, because demand for Tesla will soar. People will have the money to finance it, lease it, whatever it is, because interest rates will go down and it'll be much easier for them to take a loan on the car. So in my opinion, I think 2025 is going to be an explosion year for Tesla, not only just reaching their all-time high, but going above that, probably even 500 or 600. Those lost times in 2022, 2023, and probably a little bit of 2024 is going to make it up in 2025, in my opinion. But one thing's for sure, guys. Here's the thing. Right now, the stock price is 250. We're looking at the stock prices of 2024 of 2025 being in the 300s, potentially in the 400 or 500. So why does it even matter what stock price you bought it at now, tomorrow, or the day after, when the stock price is pretty much going to be doubling on what's in 2025? Obviously not financial advice, I keep saying that, but based on looking at these numbers, it looks like it. It looks like it's going to happen. And Elon did say that Tesla soon will have its own ChatGPT moment. That is a sheesh moment, and I made a video about it here because it was absolutely a big sheesh moment. So check it out, you won't be disappointed. It's a very juicy video, guys. Get your I bought the dip t-shirt or my dollar cost averaging on Tesla stock t-shirt, and subscribe for more, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.